Hey guys, it's almost 8 p.m. I'm gonna wait for a few people to join in before I give my spiel. So tonight I'll be going live with StuntmanStu. If you don't know him, he is on Magic 100 in the mornings. I am so honored to be doing this live with him. No, Judy, it's not going to be 9 today. It's going to be 8 p.m. because I'm respecting the wishes of my guest who wanted it to be a little bit earlier. Um, I can express how honored I am by this experience and that he said yes and agreed to do this with me. It will be dedicated to a dear friend of mine who is going through a similar situation. I will keep her identity private as she has requested that it remain private. I'm going to wait for him to join in and ramble on like I always do before my guest gets here. I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie. It's always nerve-wracking, but especially when it's somebody that I look up to. I really respect and admire the way that he has been so candid about his experience. He is here. Oh my God, I'm gonna welcome him in. This is so exciting. And I hope it works. Oh shit. Literally. Let's wait for him to join in. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, I love the name of this. Oh shit, live.
Oh shit, it started during a pandemic, so I felt like it was suited. You're so handsome. I have to admire you for a moment. I'm a complete fangirl, by the way. So,
Thank you.
I hope my husband's not watching right now. I said that. How are you feeling, Stu?
I'm feeling really good. What's your husband's name?
My husband's name is Omar. He
Huh?
is.
Omar, hi.
Oh, thank you. He's a restaurant owner out here in Canada. He
Which one?
owns the Wild Wing on
Okay.
Eagle.
Nice.
Yeah, we're suffering a little bit, but
Yeah.
everyone's trying to survive. How is your family doing right now?
Family's great. The kids are scattered around the house. My wife's upstairs.
Amazing. Yeah, I banished my children upstairs as well, and I'm hiding out in my hair salon doing my lives as I normally do.
Nice.
Before we get started, Sue, I wanted to say thank you, not only for agreeing to do this with me, but for continuously being as candid as you have been throughout your journey. I can understand the difficulty that comes along with that, and I know that sharing your experience, although it has benefited many people, it's not always easy to do.
Yeah.
Did you ever find it difficult to come out and sort of talk about your journey throughout your experience this entire time?
Yeah, I chose to go public again, obviously, as I did 4 years ago, because I wanted to share the journey. I got leukemia again, and I felt just as I did 4 years ago that I brought everyone along with me and comforted me and supported me and got me through it. It's kind of like therapy for me 4 years ago. So when I relapsed back in January, I'm like, here we go again. Might as well take everyone along the ride and be honest with everyone.
Fair enough. And I don't know if you genuinely understand the impact that has on people, because I think that you being as candid as you have been can inspire other people to sort of open up about the things that they're going through, whether they're relatable or not. So I genuinely respect that and admire that about you.
Well, we're all going through something right now. I'm going through my battle plus COVID, so it's a double-edged sword. You guys are going through it, with your husband's business, and everyone's struggling. So we're all going through something.
You're absolutely right. I know. I myself am considered high risk, as is my son, so we do have that little fear ourselves. I wanted to ask you for yourself, when you heard the news of COVID, did you believe it to be as large as it actually is? Were you
No,
fearful?
no, I don't think realistically anyone thought it would be as bad as it was, because initially we thought, oh, it'll just be a little, my kids were asking, is this going to be a pandemic? I'm like, no, it'll be fine. A couple of weeks, it'll be fine. I didn't realize the severity of it. Obviously, because of my immune system, I am well aware of it, just how serious it is. I mean, I have not left my house in 3 months, only to go to doctor's appointments. That's it.
Right.
So I seriously know just how big it is now.
Were you fearful of getting sick? I mean, obviously your immune system is weakened with the chemotherapy, but were you very fearful of being sick before COVID?
Um, well, I was in hospital for 38 days, and then I got released from hospital just before the pandemic really started. I have to go back to hospital in a couple of weeks for a bone marrow transplant. I'll probably be there 4 to 6 weeks because of COVID. Normally, 4 years ago when I had my bone marrow transplant, I was an outpatient, but because of COVID, I can't take a chance, and they want me to stay in hospital, which is going to be really shitty, but there's no choice.
Will your family be able to come visit you while you're in hospital?
Unfortunately, not. That's the shitty part. We'll have to rely on FaceTime. We're going to have to rely on, just communicating by text every single day. That's going to be the hardest part, being away from my family for 4 to 6 weeks while I recuperate.
I can understand that. And it's always that, I think whenever you're ill, there's that feeling of being alone.
Yeah.
Just because it is you yourself and your illness, but then to actually have to physically be alone, it is a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of Netflix and boredom in hospital.
I can imagine. How have you been able to remain positive throughout your journey, and especially now, knowing that you're going to have to enter the hospital?
Well, it's not all on me. It's, I have a great support system here with my family. My wife is my rock. My kids prop me up every day, days when I feel like crap. You don't fight this alone. You have a support system. You have a group of friends that you can rely on. There's people every day on social media that prop you up. I mean, I wake up every morning, I thank God I'm alive, but if I feel bad and I feel sorry for myself, I look for positives. I look for some bright spots in my day, and I look for, positive reinforcements. You can't just be negative every day. I mean, there's days where I am, but my wife quickly smacks that out on me and say, relax, you'll be fine.
Wake up. There's no reason to be upset. I mean, I can understand that, and I have to ask, because there's been a lot of talk recently I think we've all been locked up for too long, so everyone's mind is wandering to the conspiracy areas. Being where you are and high risk, does that bother you at all that some people are just neglecting the severity of the situation?
It does, because now, I mean, they don't realize it, their immune system is not compromised. I understand that, but as someone who's got a compromised immune system, like, wake up, people. We can't go back to the old way. It's going to take some time. We're all suffering. We just have to ride the wave. And I have heard from, business owners. I have a lot of friends that have small businesses that are struggling, and it's hard. And a lot of people are losing their jobs. These are scary times, but my God, we cannot go back to the way we went, like, back to 4 months ago. Not just yet. I know a lot of people want to go back to sports, and we miss sports. We miss going out to restaurants. We miss hanging out with our friends. I miss, we had a friend drop off some food this afternoon. I said, we'd love to come over to your house, but we can't just yet. We miss going to our friend's house, but not just yet. It's going to be a long summer. We'll eventually get through this.
I agree. And I think, what a lot of people neglect to realize when they're claiming that their freedoms are being stripped away is that Canada has not taken away the amount of freedoms that other countries have. I mean, we're still able to go outside. Yes, there are restrictions and rules, but they have not said once, I have a girlfriend in Barcelona, and she said there's times where certain age groups can go out and others can't. We're not at that level yet. I don't think freedom's been ripped away from us. I think they're putting measures in place to keep everyone safe, especially our most vulnerable, like yourself. So I do see a question for you here. I'd like to read it out to you.
Sure.
And it's asking, do you feel comfortable eating takeout?
Totally. I mean, there's places that we trust, and we know the owners, and we know the businesses, and I put my trust in them. And then if I don't know them, I'll bring it home, or I'll have it delivered, or my wife will pick it up, and we'll take it out of the packages. I'm not scared about that.
Right. I know for myself and my husband, what we sort of said is anything that can be reheated at a high heat, we'll gravitate more towards. That's just our personal preference. And we are restaurant owners, so I don't know if that answers anybody's question. So I wanted to ask you, because I know that you are only giving me a limited time here, so I wanted to
ask away.
What advice would you give to people in similar situations as you during this time?
Dealing with what I'm dealing with?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just give the advice that I've been giving to people for the last 4 years. You know, you get a diagnosis like this, and people reached out to me even during this to say, "Hey, my dad just got diagnosed. My friend just got diagnosed." I tell everyone the same thing. You have to accept it. You have to open your eyes to it. You have to know that it can be. You can fight it, and you have to rely on your support system. You know, half the battle that I'm learning is between the ears. You know, it's a mental battle every single day. Every single day I wake up and I face this. And, you know, for the second time in 4 years, this is my reality. And, you know, there's no alternative. It's not like I can go to Costco and get a cancer kit to make me better. You have to, you have to, somehow survive within your means and trust the system. You have to put your faith in the doctors, and if they tell you that you're going to live and they're going to do everything that they can to save you, then you put your faith in them. There's no other alternative.
Right. I agree. As a father, what was your biggest fear hearing that it had come back?
Just having to tell my kids for a second time that I got cancer. That was hard the first day. The kids took it hard, but our kids are resilient. They grew up a lot in the last 4 years, and we were honest with them. We didn't bullshit them. We were just very straight up. This is what daddy's got to do. This is what daddy's going to do. And you have to ride the wave, ride the roller coaster of emotions. You got to, the highs and lows. There's days when daddy's in a great mood. There's days where daddy's not in a great mood. You just have to ride the wave.
I agree. I think it's
you got to be transparent.
Right. It's like that with anything in life. I think, we're all, again, going through something right now. And the magnitude of everybody's situation is huge to that person.
Yeah.
And we all have good days and our bad days. And I can't imagine dealing with what you're dealing with on top of this pandemic and still raising a family and all of that. I respect you so much. It's ridiculous.
Well, thank you. You should respect my wife more because she's the one in charge of the house. The only thing I do is cook breakfast and supper. She does everything else, literally everything else. Plus, she runs a radio station, Magic. So, she's the boss at home, boss at work, and she's managing the kids and the emotions. So, the respect goes to her, not to me.
Is she there? Can we say hello?
No, she's upstairs.
She's upstairs keeping it down while you're doing this. Are you still working throughout this time at all? Are you able to?
I call into the morning show once a morning at 6:25 just to do a little bit with Angie and Janelle on Magic, but pretty much I'm off the show. I still keep in touch with the Facebook page and obviously with the audience on social media, but I'm not actually on the radio like I am normally 3 hours a day.
Okay. Yeah. I can see why it would be difficult to sort of be doing those things right now. Yeah. Do you have anything you'd like to leave your viewers with before I let you go? I know you gave me a time frame, so I'm really trying to respect it.
You know what? We're all going through social media. We're all, looking for answers. I don't think there's any answers out there. I think we just have to, do what makes you comfortable. If you don't feel like showering for 4 days, that's fine. I haven't changed my outfit in 4 months. This is the new norm. There's no right or wrong. Whatever works for you and your family, just do it. There was a time when we started all this and my wife and I were like, should we be on the kids about school? Like, should we ask my son who's in grade 8, should we have him on his laptop every day for like 5 hours? What do we do? So, what works for you, works for you. What works for us may not work for you, but you have to manage your schedule to your family. You don't have to do what everyone else does.
It's about finding that balance.
Yeah, I think. Total balance.
Yeah, and just keeping everybody happy. I mean, we're going through it. The kids are going through it.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids.
How old are they?
It's my daughter, she'll be 7 in June, and my son just turned 3.
Wow.
And as I mentioned, unfortunately, he is high risk. He's severely asthmatic, so that does put him into that category. And it's been challenging because he's a very hyperactive child, and so he's trying to find his way throughout this whole thing. Keeps asking about daycare and seeing grandparents and stuff like that, and it's hard on them, I think we're all just trying to navigate like you said, the situation the best that we can.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to do it, but
No, there isn't. Again, what I said is what works for you works for you. You know, I see all these posts in social media. Oh, we went for a bike ride today. Congratulations. We didn't. I sat in bed and watched Netflix. It worked for me.
right. And I think that's also the way you need to look at social media, whether or not there's a pandemic or not, because I know, and maybe your wife can relate to this, but even as mothers, social media can be a really rough place for a lot of people. And just seeing, you know, so and so's doing this and we're not, and are we bad parents or bad people
No,
for
not at all.
And I think that everyone needs to come to terms with the fact that it is a game of show and tell.
Yeah.
And you get to sort of choose what you're showing and telling, and just be authentic about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Be transparent. Be your real self. That's the new 2020.
Right. I think that's the only way to live from here on out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Stu. I appreciate you doing this with me.
Thanks so much.
The best of luck. We're all praying for you. Everybody is thinking of you.
Thank you.
Hope you recovery. Take
Thank
care.
you. Thanks, OHshit Live.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night.
Good night. Bye. Guys, that was awesome. Fangirl, holy crap. Whoa, oh shit. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop swearing and go break my fast. Take care, guys. I'll see you tomorrow night. I'll be chatting with Melanie. She's a mother of 4, so just imagine trying to homeschool 4 kids. Oh crap. She's a rock star herself, married to a rock star as well. I'm so excited to have that conversation with her. It will be at the normal time, 9 p.m. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you again, StuntmanStu. That touched my heart. You're such an inspiration. Take care, guys. Oh shit.